So last year's was when Trump was on trial, and there was a meme of Trump sitting next to Jesus at his trial.
This is the Talk Down.
So I love Halloween as well. Halloween's probably Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Halloween's probably my second favorite. I like the parties. I like
you like
costume
food more
parties.
than candy.
Yeah, well, I like how relaxing Thanksgiving is. I find it, other than like the cooking that day, I find it just a very peaceful time of year, and I like the spirit of it.
You cook on Thanksgiving?
I usually do a potluck with friends, so I'll cook like one or two things and bring them. But,
okay.
But Halloween, one of the things I love about Halloween, I'm very into pumpkin carving. And doing like intricate. I've always liked getting the really like complicated stencils, and sometimes I'll make my own stencils. And a few years ago, I started doing every year at Halloween. I have friends over for pumpkin carving party. We have drinks and snacks, and we all carve a pumpkin. And I always pick one that's like topical or relevant in some way. So this is the one I did this year.
So this is this year.
This is Moo Deng. You know Moo Deng, the
little baby hippo. Yes. Oh, I couldn't tell by looking at it. I thought that was like a strange Halloween landscape.
So it's when you actually see it.
Yeah, now I see it.
So yeah, it's Moo Deng looking.
That is
at
detailed.
Yeah.
Is that a hole? How do you do that?
So have you ever done the pattern pumpkin carving?
Yeah, well, my wife you poke holes for all the lines and then you cut through those.
So there's a Pumpkin Masters app where you can like insert a photo, and then it will kind of turn it into a design, but it doesn't adjust the contrast perfectly. So I usually save that image, and then I go into a photo editor myself and like work on it and get the pattern right. And then I print it out and I put it on the pumpkin. And usually at these pumpkin carving parties, they'll start around like 7 p.m. And
how long that take?
And everybody will be done with theirs by like 7:30 p.m. and I'm still poking holes. And so it takes several hours. Jeez. But then I always think it's fun when you actually put the candle in, and because you can't really always tell how good it's going to look.
I'm amazed you got, because that line of his snout and those holes, like that's a hole, right?
Yes. So
like that's so thin.
So there's a tactic. What you have to do, you start as close to, once you start carving after you've gotten the pattern transferred, there's a few tactics I use. When you're scraping out the inside of the pumpkin, I scrape the wall that I'm carving against. I scrape that a little thin on the inside, so it's not like super thick, so it's easier to cut through and manipulate. And then you want to start at the center of the design and with the smallest holes first. Okay. So don't cut. If you cut out the big stuff first, it weakens everything else that you're like carving against.
Yeah,
so you have to do all the tiny stuff first.
Like the top of his snout is blowing my mind that you got that without that breaking off.
Oh,
you have like
I'm very patient.
Pumpkin tape that you use or anything?
No, it's all.
Like, have you ever gotten like halfway through one and like a really important line got cut off and you're like,
I don't think I've ever had one that has like broken. Like I've been doing it for years, and then they get Okay,
so let's see because you brought a bunch.
I'll show you some others. Yeah. So last year's was when Trump was on trial, and there was a meme of Trump sitting next to Jesus at his trial.
Is that a heart?
So I changed it. It was just kind of the outline of like the sphere that I transferred the images from.
Nice.
But it's just the way it kind of transferred onto the pumpkin. It created that shape. But their faces, it was Jesus sitting next to Trump at his trial.
He was on trial for real.
I was like, I'm carving that onto a pumpkin. Then the year before that, I was obsessed with, there was several stories where buffaloes were attacking people in national parks. Like bison kept headbutting people and injuring. There was at least over the course of one summer, 4 or 5 different incidents.
I've seen some videos of that from that time.
It was mostly at Yellowstone, but there might have been some other parks too. And so the National Park Service made this pattern of a bison butting somebody.
Oh, like a warning?
So I was already obsessed with these stories. And I love the National Park Service, and they came out with this pumpkin, so I made that one. The year before that was when Norm Macdonald passed away.
Oh, that's my favorite.
So I made this Norm Macdonald tribute pumpkin. It's got moths around it in honor of his moth joke, and it says the light was on.
Nice.
So I love that one.
Spoiler alert.
The year before, this is one of my favorites.
That's pretty impressive. That looks like a photograph.
This is remember when Jeffrey Toobin got suspended from CNN because he exposed himself on a Zoom. He exposed himself on a Zoom call. He forgot that Zoom was still on, and he was like on a porno website or something.
Oh my gosh!
And he got fired because he had exposed himself. So it's Jeffrey Toobin on a Zoom meeting. It says Zoom in the corner.
Zoom in the corner there.
And then also, what I love about this one, I carved it upside down so that when you turn the lights on, the stem is where his wiener would be.
What? You have to explain that to everybody.
it's
Nobody
like-
catches that the first time.
But I know I have to explain it, but I still
Yeah,
think
a
it's
one-legged
a
man.
fun detail
It is great. Yeah.
that when you turn the light on.
I love
there's-
how much fun you have.
Yeah. The year before
Okay.
that was when
We're going back in time.
right before they tried to cancel Ellen. Part of it was that she was photographed sitting next to George W. Bush at a
Oh,
football
right.
game.
Wow.
So I did Ellen next to George W. Bush on a pumpkin.
I can see how your skills got better over time. Like as we go back.
All right, we don't have to insult them.
No, it's getting more Picasso-y.
Yes. The big mistake I
Should
made
I
on this
guess?
one. The big mistake I made on this one is I should have made a more. I'm still on the Ellen Bush one. I should have made a more defined circle outline, kind of uniting them in the same space because it looks like they're two like superimposed
And
next to each other.
George Bush's face looks like he has like black face, and because
So
hers is so white and
I
his
think
is so black.
part of the reason is that it was hard to because the surface of the pumpkin is curved. So if you look at it straight on his,
okay.
it's a little better. But it was
the
hard, it
shadows.
was hard to get a picture. Like if you look at hers straight on, it looks good, and if you look at
see.
his straight on, it looks good. But it's kind of a weird angle.
Right.
Can you figure out? Did you say you want to guess what this one is? The next one?
Is that Gavin after he lost a softball game? I have no idea. Who's this?
So if this is Kanye West wearing a Make America Great Again hat.
Is that is that a drawing who drew that?
So the Kanye pattern, I think, was from maybe a TMZ website, and then I added the Make America Great Again hat to it.
That's bold because drawing a baseball cap facing forward is very hard.
Yes, and getting lettering on a pumpkin, it's hard to see again. It came out good. It's just hard to photograph it all well, but it says Make America Great Again there. The year before that was when Harambe died, so I did a tombstone with Harambe's face on it. Let's see. The year before that, I did Bill Cosby.
That's definitely a good Halloween monster.
That was one of my favorites. I'm very pro Bill Cosby. I'm a big defender of Bill Cosby. I think. Yeah.
Well, John the Baptist,
he's a good guy. Yeah. The year before that, I did Randy Marsh. Now this one's not as complex, but this is the only time I've ever done this. On most pumpkin patterns, yes, everything has to be connected.
Yeah.
There's a way that you can do them where you just scrape so that the candle light glows through if you like thin the skin at certain points. So yeah, that one was.
You never poke through?
No, you never poke all the way through.
You must have a very delicate touch.
I do. The year before that was when they were talking about the axis of evil with Putin and Kim Jong-un. So I did both a Putin and a Kim Jong-un pumpkin. And then the year before that, this was one of the first ones that I did that kind of got me into it. There was this pattern I think was online. I found it's Stefan from Saturday Night Live. So,
I don't know that reference.
Oh, you don't
I feel bad.
Oh, you have to look those up.
Stefan.
Bill Hader's character, where he would.
I love Bill Hader.
He'd go,
but I never
New York's hottest club is where, and he'd go, they have everything.
Oh yeah, I don't even know that.
Oh, you got to watch those sketches.
I love.
But yeah, those
Bill
are
Hader.
Those are my pumpkins. Every year I come out with a new one.
Oh man, that was a good video. You should check out our channel for more great videos from the Talk Down and go to thetalkdown.com and maybe become a subscriber or something.
If you like being talked down to, subscribe to the Talk Down. Do it. Do it.